Hey, I'm Kevin King, and here's how this happens. I'm introduced as an expert in your industry who's about to share the secrets of success. Now, what the audience doesn't know is that this is a practical joke. I spend a few minutes reeling them in with something called verbal perception manipulation. It's really just double talk. And about the time they think their heads are going to explode, I let them off the hook. Not only is this a lot of fun, but it gives them the understanding that clear communication is the secret to success.
It is with great honor that I introduce to you a man who is shaping the minds of the 21st century empire, Kevin King.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Tonight, ladies and gentlemen, I would like to invite each of you to join me on an incredible journey. A journey so exciting that it could quite possibly produce a life-changing experience for everyone in this room. Ladies and gentlemen, the information that I'm about to share with you is without question one of the two key ingredients for total success in the 21st century. The many requests that are made to fulfill the expectations from the first moment that you even consider the time that it takes to create the obligation. It must be necessary in order for others to save face if the problems can bring the subject, whenever possible, to involve the participants that would not normally have as much input under these working conditions. Now, they all see a need to react on short notice in each of these steps more closely before the issues can even be addressed. And I personally have found that most of the training in America begins by dividing the time, which is the basis that you must set standards for. The need is always followed by the solution as quickly as possible, because one of the most important uses of this can become an even larger liability as the word spreads around the country. And it seems to embrace the entire meaning of the situation. If they could have appealed to each one of them before they even made their requests. Now, this also applies to those who reach out to the natural result of continuous effort. And I believe if the right choice is made, a true appreciation of the two extremes are pursued, then all levels of people will benefit from this process at any given time. Now, as you well know, circumstances are definitely an indication that there's absolutely no element of chance for both pleasant or even unpleasant conditions. And by the way, these conditions can only exist in the most affordable manner. Now, there's one thing that I want to make perfectly clear, just like everything I've said up to this point. Everything I have said up to this point has been strictly Brannus, because the Cabishin is going out of the Seidel Fornstaff. The Hungathai with the Lachmas said the Mendelsteins were a leech of Theotums, can't use it in the Bodness, and it was definitely a he-hevawat if the Mac Host got into sick those malhikams, we go pathia by late law. Are there any questions so far? Folks, I guess by now you realize I know nothing about what it's going to take to be successful in the 21st century. I just wish you could have seen my man on the front row here. I mean, this guy was looking up at me like a dog watching a ceiling fan. He's going... That was good. I'm just getting started with this mess when all of a sudden the doorbell rings. I climb down from the ladder to see who it is. I open the door. This gentleman is standing there with some books and papers in his hands, and he says, "Hi, I'm a Jehovah's Witness, and I'd like to talk to you for a few minutes." I'm certainly not picking on those fine people. He looked like a genuinely sincere person. Any other time I would have been happy to chat with him, but hey, I'm in the middle of painting this room. I need to get it finished. Immediately, I recognize this as an excellent opportunity to use VPM, verbal perception manipulation. So I just looked at the guy and said, "Buddy, I'd love to stay here and talk to you, but the low barrel taping backs around the corner when they had its own way for all the ones to get involved, because the handle over set up next to the height of them turned over on the side." Now, he looked at me a little funny and said, "Well, amen, I'll see you Sunday." He goes merrily on his way. I go back to painting. Can you see the value of this? Yeah. How about this? I was at a mall a few weeks ago. A lady walked up to me with a clipboard. I knew what was coming. She was going to ask me if I had a few minutes to answer one of those 3-hour questionnaires. Now, rather than be rude and brush this nice person off, I just simply said, ma'am, I'd love to help you out with your survey, but the framed cap legs, keeping in touch with them every single night before they were all gone, said that the home belt cushions always attracted trouble, got 2 full sets of prints before they made a deal with the company. People, I have no idea what she heard, but the feeder roots in her brain, they were searching for a match. And they found something, because she looked at me as serious as a train wreck, and she said, well, thank you so much for that nice compliment. I owe it all to Weight Watchers. The next time you are ever in an uncomfortable situation, an undesirable place, take a little VPM, mix it with an attitude and a little aggressiveness. Go into that IRS audit and say, hey, y'all run this place like I'm some kind of an idiot, and I can do it too, but that's just what you think. If I ever hear anything else about it again, it makes any difference to me. That's all I hope. And you're out of there. Nice, smooth exit, yeah. So I went recently to one of those quick change places, and I told the young man I need to get the car serviced, and if you don't mind, I'd like for you to take a look at my catastrophic converter, because I had the one with the twin ace-ply deuced out double carbo Shaka-Mana flaps with all the sparkometers coming out of the side. I was expecting him to go, huh? But without missing a beat, he said, sir, I don't think we have a filter to fit that. So the next time you're standing there with a drink in your hand, there's a lull in the conversation, just look at the person across from you and say, is it normally colder up north than it is in the wintertime, or is it usually hotter down south than it is in the summer? And while they're giving you that deer in the headlights look, you can say, excuse me, I'm lost right now and I'm going to look for myself. If I should return before I get back, please ask me to wait. Once again, you're out of there. So I waited for my opportunity. I jumped in there, and I called her mom too. I said, well, Mom, it's a terrible thing about all of your friends. I hate to hear this, but the only thing I can think of to say is the free Almondhausen mixed up with the People's Isons get that way with it sometimes, because the Potts water trays to catch up on a lot of times said it wouldn't be fair. Without hesitation and with total conviction, she looked at me and she said, you know, I've said that several times myself. Thank you very much.